Baseball Complex just off of Paul Parkway here in Blaine, Minnesota, shaping up to be a beautiful spring afternoon for baseball here in the land of 10,000 lakes. We got a matchup out of the Northwest Suburban Conference as the Bengals take on the visiting Spring Lake Park Panthers in our broadcast at North Metro TV here this afternoon. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Matt Dean. I'll be walking you through this one. Should be a fun one. Two ball clubs playing really well. You've got Spring Lake Park, who just rebounded from a 7-game losing streak to open the year. They are coming off back-to-back wins for the first time all year. And Blaine, winners of 4 of the last 5 since a 1-3 start. Two offenses swinging some hot bats. We will start with visiting SLP, where Jay Balsamo has been one of the more impressive hitters coming through in some clutch spots. He's a senior playing left field today. He had hit safely in 8 in a row until his first 0 for the season on Friday, the second consecutive win in a row. Balsamo, great overall hitter, not necessarily a big power guy, but a very great two-strike approach that has stood out in this Spring Lake Park offense this year and been a big part of their turnaround. Wins in the last 2 games. Balsamo, we've also seen come on the mound and close it out for victories, leaving the winning run stranded on the base paths in those 2 pitching appearances. On the other side for the Blaine Bengals, Adam Pooter is a guy who hits well all the time, but he's a big game hitter. Last time North Metro TV were here, he went 3 for 5, left the yard for his first of the season. A talented Division I commit, a senior, headed to play for the Tommies next season. He's batting .500 on the season and been even hotter than that the last couple of games. A super smooth shortstop out on the diamond for the Blaine Bengals, who come in 5-4 and looking to pick up what would be their 8th consecutive meeting against Spring Lake Park in the NWSC history. We got the Panthers and the Bengals coming up for you next on North Metro TV.
I'll be seeing you.
No, the thing I've missed the most during this entire time, this pandemic, has been you.
I love playing to a live audience. There's nothing like it.
The COVID-19 vaccines are going to help us all get back to the moments we miss.
It's totally normal to have questions. I did too.
That's why it's so important to get informed.
So ask your doctor and get the facts. It's up to you.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out? You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Back here at the Blaine Baseball Complex, we are just about set to play ball here. This prep matchup coming your way on North Metro TV. 2 of our NMTV schools as the Spring Lake Park Panthers, looking for their 3rd win in a row, take on the Blaine Bengals, winners of 4 of the last 5 in this Northwest Suburban Conference bout. Matt Dean welcoming you back here as we will check in on the starting pitcher who will toe the slab tonight. The senior that has emerged as a really reliable arm for the Bengals this year, Hans Christensen, who rewarded his head coach Ted Erickson, getting his first start of the season last week on Monday and threw a complete game against Buffalo. So really good numbers for Christensen, looking to pick up his 2nd win in as many starts. The starting lineup for the Spring Lake Panthers, who are led by the first-year head coach Cody Miller. We will see 4 juniors, 5 seniors in the lineup, starting with the emerging junior Darren Tran, who comes in hitting .385 in the season. He'll be followed by Jay Balsamo and Braden Talso, a couple of seniors, with Larson, the talented backstop, Rell, Tucker, Say, Meyer, and Welch rounding out the order. 3 of the top 4 in the lineup for the Panthers left-handed hitters. The Blaine defense, as they set up behind Christensen, we are going to see Garrett Stoffaker, Jackson Koenig, Adam Pooter, the St. Thomas commit who we highlighted in the open, and Ethan Pettis, one of the senior captains around the infield. Ty Peterson hanging the signs behind the plate with Anderson, Dylan Chiquan, and Benny McDonald in the outfield for the Bengals. So here's Darren Tran, one of the 3 lefties, as Christensen deals up and outside for ball number 1. Time of the first pitch, 4:35 p.m. Central Time. And we are underway here at the Blaine Baseball Complex. Second pitch from Christensen in at the belt for a strike. And it is 1-1 on the junior DHing for SLP here today. Tran, who kind of swaps places, as here the 1-1 is a bunt laid down back to the mound, fielded by Christensen. He'll fire to first, and in time to retire Tran, who had been hitting .385 in 13 at-bats to start the year. He's retired, making way for Jay Balsamo. Tran finished that thought, often swapping places with Gavin Welch, one playing right field, the other DHing, and alternating in that spot. Here's Balsamo as Christensen gets back to work and gets a looping fly ball out to right center field. McDonald will camp underneath it and pluck it out of the air to make the catch. So just 4 pitches to get 2 outs now for Christensen. Rolling early here is Braden Talso, the first righty in the lineup that he will face. Will step up here for SLP. Talso, excellent start to the season. Him and Balsamo each have 14 hits on the year, tied for the Panther lead. And he'll watch one split the plate for strike 1. Talso hitting .500, 14 at 28, with a couple knocked in and 4 walks on the season. Great numbers. The 0-1 as he slaps this out. 3-hopper to third, knocked down by Pettis, who won't field it cleanly, and Talso is aboard. With the first activity on the bases for either team today, going to be an error on Ethan Pettis, putting a 2-out runner aboard here for the Bengals. Talso, good athlete, getting down the line. Pettis had time, just rushed the throw a little bit, and a fielding error giving the Panthers some early activity. Connor Larson strides to the box now. Big lefty bat here in the Panther lineup. Is 5 of 26 at the dish to begin the year. Fastball high, misses up for ball 1. Christensen, we mentioned, threw a complete game, and it was a shutout his last time around against Buffalo. That was just over a week ago on Monday as he deals a breaking ball low. Talso taking off. He's into second with the throw late for a stolen base to give Larson now a man in scoring position, and the hitters count here ahead 2-0. Christensen Punched out 5, walked 3, gave up 7 hits, throwing 105 pitches to go the distance in the shutout in his last start for Blaine. As that one is in the dirt, skips away from Peterson momentarily, but he scampers after it and keeps it close enough to hold a good runner in Talso at second base. A 5-0 shutout win for Blaine last week on Monday. It was their first shutout victory as a team this season. And the 3-0 inside below the belt. It's a 4-pitch walk to the left-handed swinging catcher. Larson is on behind Talso. And the Panthers have 2 on without the benefit of a base hit, as Ian Rell will make his way to the batter's box here next for SLP. Rell, a junior, who has hits in 5 of his last 6 games, a stretch where he's gone 5 of 17, hitting .250 overall on the year. Christensen, who had his bumps in the road, but for the most part zipped right through that Buffalo lineup a week ago, and some early trouble here, an error and a walk. As he'll cast home, and a hard hit ball right to short. 2 hops for Pooter. He'll go the short way, as covering was Koenig at second, and the inning is over. So the Panthers get 2 on, but can't cash in and score without a base hit. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Keep it right here on North Metro TV as we'll check in here coming up on this upcoming Blaine Bengal lineup, a unit who have been swinging some really hot bats as of late, and this Blaine ball club out to a 5-4 start on the season. Taking the mound for Spring Lake Park will be senior right-hander Caleb Tays, who is looking to pick up his first winning decision of the year for the Panthers. Guy who's coming around in his first full varsity season, committed to play D3 next year for Augsburg. He's got a 3.29 ERA, struck out 3, walked 4, and allowed 13 runs, 8 of them earned in those 17 innings of work over his prior 3 starts in the rotation all year for Spring Lake Park. Big thing for Tays has been getting out to slow starts. He has allowed 12 runs in the first 2 innings this year. So a Bengal lineup looking to jump on him early. Cooper Anderson, Adam Pooter, and Jackson Koenig will be the 3 to lead things off for the Bengals here in the bottom of the first. Couple of seniors and a junior. Garrett Stoffaker, big run producer, the senior first baseman hitting cleanup. He'll be followed up by the sophomore Carter Amos in the DH spot. McDonald in right to follow, and then Pettis, Chiquan, and Peterson round out that batting order for the Bengals. Spring Lake Park defensively set up with Balsamo, Tucker, and Welch in the outfield. It's Ian Rell working the hot corner. Braden Talso next to him on the left side with Meyer, and then Mikey Say at first base, making his first career start at the position as he returns to action for the first time since late April when he was out with some arm soreness. And of course, Connor Larson, the starting center on the SLP football team, and the catcher setting up behind the plate will hang the signs here for the right-hander Caleb Tays. So here's the leadoff man for the Bengals as Cooper Anderson steps into the box. .235 hitter on the year, shows bunt, pulls it back, and that pitch fluttering back over for a strike. It's 0-1. Couple knocked in for Anderson this year. He's also reached via a walk and a hit by pitch once apiece this year. And that breaking ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. These teams catching up in terms of getting games in finally with the weather turning around. And great conditions for baseball here today as the 1-1 comes and finds the inside corner here to put Anderson behind 1-2. This game will be the 10th of the season for these two clubs tonight. Panthers 2-7, the Bengals 5-4. 1-2's on the ground, back to the mound, fielded by the pitcher Tays, where he will flip it over to Mikey Say for the 1-3 putout. Anderson retired to send up Adam Pooter next. Want to get Mikey Say involved early, as we said. Not real familiar with the first base position. He gets a little easy underhand flip from his pitcher, and gaining that confidence over there for a guy we were told was actively pining to be the starting first baseman when some other injuries happened And the Panthers were looking for answers to fill that spot a little bit. Pooter out to a great start at the plate. The St. Thomas commit smacks that one through the left-hand side, and it's our first base hit of the ball game. Pooter in between the 6-5 hole past Rel and Talso, wraps it through for a one-out single, bringing up Jackson Koenig. Pooter now hitting above 500 on the season. He's 14 of 27. Homered the last time we were here, NMTV, a couple of weeks back in the game against Centennials. That pitch is dealt high here for ball one on Koenig, junior second baseman, hitting .406. You're going to see a lot of eye-popping early season numbers from the Bengals, who as a team are hitting above 300, as that one's low for ball two, with a 797 OPS and averaging just south of 7 runs per game. 60 of them scored over the first 9 for this Bengal lineup. 2-0, and it's snapped to the outside edge for a called strike on Koenig. 13 hits, couple have been doubles for Koenig. You saw knocked in a pair on the season, and getting on base with 3 walks. That is dealt high out of the hand of Tays, and it's 3 balls and a strike to count. Tays has gone at least 4 innings in all 3 of his starts. As we mentioned, the early innings have been the issue for him. 3-1, golfed out into right center field. Looks like Tucker's got a beat on it. He will spin into the gap to pull that one down for out number 2. Sending Garrett Stoffaker up to the plate next. Tays, 13 runs allowed this year. 12 of them have come in the first 2 innings. So if he can get through those first 2, he has only allowed 1 run in innings 3 and on the rest of the year over 3 starts, as he'll find the inside corner and get ahead on Garrett Stoffaker, another 400 hitter in this Bengal lineup. 10 of 25, including a home run and 3 doubles this year. He's driven in a team-high 9 runs. He'll bounce this one to Say at first. The picking machine takes it right to the bag in his first game at the spot. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. These 2 teams knotted up at zeros as we head to the second through 1 on North Metro TV. Back on to the top of the second here from the Blaine Baseball Complex. T-shirts are out, the shades are out, and we got some great weather for baseball here tonight. Northwest Suburban Conference matchup between 2 of our NMTV schools. Spring Lake Park taking on Blaine for the first time this season. Matt Dean welcoming you back here to Blaine, Minnesota. It is a series that Blaine have done very well in. 7 consecutive wins against the Panthers in the Northwest Suburban Conference part of this series, going back to 2015, as Hans Christensen's first pitch of the inning is slapped foul here with Ashton Tucker leading things off from the 6th spot in the order for the Panthers. Tucker 7 of 30 with 3 RBI at the dish to start the year. 0-1 hanging breaking ball that Tucker waved through for strike 2. Tays on the mound, headed to Augsburg next year. Primarily a 3-pitch arm. Right-hander who will operate a fastball, get up into the low 80s tops, as this one has popped up. Late swing fouled away here, and it remains 0-2 on Tucker. He will also work in a changeup and a curveball. Guy who started last season as a junior with the JV team. 0-2. Hard hit line drive, 1 hop to Pooter. He'll sling it across from short and retire Tucker 1 down. Tays kind of was on the outside looking in as the top starting pitcher on the JV team. wanted to make sure Blaine coaches did that he was going to get regular reps, and that was the case at the beginning of the year with JV as he finds the outside edge to Mikey Say. As we mentioned, making his first career start at first base today for the Panthers. 0-1. And he'll chop this one into the batter's box at his feet. Also the first appearance for Say since April 27th. He was out with a sore arm last week or so for the Panthers. Here's the 0-2. Bounced in front of home plate. Easy take for Say here to run the count to 1-2. Tays was called up late in the season and performed well. Here's his 1-2. High, nearly sailed over the head of the catcher Peterson, and Say, after going down 0-2, is back even here in the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. Got him swinging. Left that curveball up there a little bit. A couple of hittable pitches in this inning with the breaking ball, but Panthers in the early goings having a tough time picking it up. And Christensen picks up his first strikeout of the afternoon. 2 up, 2 down to start the second. Here's Mason Meyer, the second baseman. He'll swing away and lift this one back into the parking lot for strike 1. One little check swing. That's going to be a fair ball in play. Christensen will come in, and they'll say that it went off the batter's box dirt first. So foul ball for strike 2. A little bit of tough break for Meyer there. Junior to a slow start to the season. Little check swing and just got a piece of that chalk line. It looked like going foul. So he will stand in here now with an 0-2 count. And Christensen rocks back, delivers home. Fastball high. And it's 1-2. Here's the 2-strike offering. Swing and a miss. Got tied him up inside. Back-to-back strikeouts for Christensen to take us through that top of the second inning. As the Panthers go down 1-2-3, we'll head to the home half of the inning as we're still 0-0 here on NMTV.
We in Spring Lake Park believe in building a strong and safe community. Our city moves onward and upward while holding on to our traditions and roots. We maintain a small town feel even though we are nestled next to the big city. We believe in being good neighbors and building community with safe neighborhoods. And we believe in citizenry and promote being active both physically and socially. We in Spring Lake Park love to play and believe in having an abundance of parks, playgrounds, and green space so that everyone can take a moment to enjoy the natural beauty that surrounds us. We believe in educating our children well, so we use the most advanced tools of learning to ensure continued success and bright futures. We promote athletics to keep our children fit and healthy and build a sense of teamwork. We in Spring Lake Park believe in providing a good, stable home for industry and small business to thrive. We have a large variety of successful businesses that have found continued success and benefit from excellent visibility off Highway 65. And a large customer base, as we are located only 15 minutes outside of downtown Minneapolis. Come visit us in Spring Lake Park, and you will see why we believe our city is one of a kind.
Carter Amos leading off the bottom half of the second inning here for the Bengals. And a 2-0 pitch that he drives here foul. Moves the count to 2-1. 0-0 game here in the early goings of this one. Bottom of the second inning at the Blaine Baseball Complex as the Bengals and the Panthers face off here in the only scheduled regular season meeting. The 2-1, and Tays hits him offering at a high fastball just out of the zone, and the count is even at 2-2. Tays, the right-hander, making his 4th start of the season, as this one's driven out underneath by Amos. Coming in's the center fielder Tucker, and with 2 hands reaches up to make the catch. You can hear the sound off the bat from Amos, guy who can get a hold of one and drive it a long way, but just misses that one and makes the first out of this bottom half of the second, sending up Benny McDonald, the senior, playing right field today for the Bengals. And he takes a strike just in below the belt, 0-1. McDonald, one of the regular starting pitchers for Ted Erickson and Blaine, but will often get starts in the outfield on the days he is not pitching. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. And the pitch to McDonald, late on the fastball, got a little piece of it in a foul tip for strike 2. McDonald's struck out 19 in 17 innings. ERA just over 4. Him as a pitcher this year, as he shoots that one the other way. Cut off at short by Talso. His throw a little low and knocked down by Say, who can't pick it out. It looked like the Panthers would have had the out on a more accurate throw, and it's immediately ruled the first error of the game against the Panthers. Talso here just a little bit low in that throw, and again, as we talked about, Say, that's not a perfect throw. Inexperienced first baseman. Not an easy play to make over there. Here is, with 1 on, the Bengals have 1 out. Ethan Pettis is up here at the dish. Hitting .273 in the season. 6 of his 3 hits have gone for extra bases, all doubles. Watches a strike in there to even it up. 1 on, 1 out, and a 1-1 count here to Pettis, and he jams this one off the handle and will drop it into right center field for a base hit. Pettis comes through with the 2nd Blaine hit of the afternoon, so something brewing for the Bengals here with 1 out. 2 are on for the center fielder Dylan Chiquan. Quick visit with the pitcher as Connor Larson was out there. Looked like more the visit was for him, lacing up the shoes there under the catcher equipment. Larson, we mentioned, the starting center in the fall for the Spring Lake Park football team. Good backstop here on the diamond in the spring. Tays turning his attention now to Dylan Chiquan, senior, out to a slow start with the bat this year, 4 of 21. He's knocked in a run, reached via the walk a couple of times. Early opportunity with 2 on for the Bengals, as Tays will spin that low and outside with the curveball. Bengals with one of the best offenses in the conference to start the year, hitting over 300. OPS just south of 800. 1-0's fouled off here. And a Bengal team who, not the start that Spring Lake Park did, but as a team did not get out to the best start first couple of weeks into the season. They were just 1-3. Still had a pretty good hitting lineup over that stretch, but the pitching has been the real turnaround for the Bengals that have gotten them to wins in 4 of their last 5. 1-1. That's up and inside on Chiquan. Bengals had won 4 in a row, a season high, until losing 10-2 at Anoka last Thursday. Blip on the radar for Bengal pitching staff that had an ERA at under 1.4 over that 4-game winning streak. Here's the 2-1, launched out to right center field. In the gap, making the running catch is Welch. The lead runner, McDonald's, going to be able to tag up and advance to third. And Chiquan makes an out to the right fielder, Welch, for the 2nd of the inning. But McDonald inches up another 90 feet, and the potential first run of the game is now 90 feet away for the Blaine backstop, Ty Peterson. Peterson swinging away right away, and it's an easy two-hopper to short as Talso will underhand toss to Meyer. Fielder's choice goes 6-4 to end the inning and take us to the third. Still all zeros up on the board here between Spring Lake Park and the Bengals.
An apple core or potato peels. That leftover pizza you promised you'd eat.
Ew.
Those dirty napkins and paper towels.
Stop treating us like garbage.
Did you know up to 30% of what you're throwing away could be composted? Composting gives your discards new life, which can be used to improve soil. To learn more about the new organics drop-off programs available throughout the county and get your free starter kit, go to anokacounty.us/organics.
Traffic on for both teams through the first couple of innings, but we are still scoreless as we welcome you back into the Blaine Baseball Complex here for the start of the third. Got the Los Angeles Angels in town, or anyway, the Blaine Little League version of it, taking in some great high school action here to the Northwest Suburban Conference. Welch, Tran, Balsamo, 9-1-2 in the batting order are the three due up for the Spring Lake Park Panthers. Still trying to solve the puzzle that has been Hans Christensen, who got into a little bit of trouble in the first inning. Some of it not his doing, an error from the defense behind him, a walk, but rolled back and sent down the Panthers 1-2-3 in the last half inning. So he is feeling right through the complete game shutout, as we mentioned a week ago, in his first start of the year. Turns his attention to Welch and deals a fastball really well located up and inside corner for strike one. And that is the calling card for both of these two starters on the mound for their respective teams. 0-1's up and in. Got a piece of the bat and fouled off here for strike two. Welch got a little thunder in his bat. .235 hitter, the on-base percentage good because of 4 walks. 0-2. He takes up and inside, showing that good eye here for a take that makes it 1-2. Christensen on his way home. The 2-strike pitch painted to the inside corner. A called strike 3, and that's 3 Ks in a row for Christensen as he fans the bottom of the Spring Lake Park order. This will reset things here for Darren Tran. Looked like a changeup that kind of broke back over the plate and locked up Welch for strike 3. Here's Darren Tran again, swinging away. Opposite field, knocked on 2 hops to short. Pooter fires across to get Tran, and there's 2 down. So Christensen has bounced back and now retired 6 in a row since issuing the 2-out walk back in the first. Jay Balsamo stands in next. Saw 1 pitch, flew out to right field his last time up. Shows bunt, down to third. Pettis charging in, double clutches, throw is late. And Spring Lake Park gonna have some activity on the bases here as Balsamo decides to lay one down for a bunt single here and test the Blaine defense. Pettis, not his usual night out there in the field. He had the throwing error in the first. Might have hesitated for just a moment, thinking about the bad throw he had the first go around. And then kind of double clutched it there a little bit. That allowed Balsamo to win that race to first. Talso fouling one back here for a strike. Ends up going as the first base hit of the game for the Panthers. So Balsamo's in there now, his team leading 15th hit of the season for SLP. Another turn and toss to check in on Balsamo. Second-year varsity player who's hitting .452 entering the night. Now aboard at first with 2 away. 1-0. Slap to third. Pettis. That time fires it over the head of Stoffaker. And the runners are going to move up. Talso will get to second. Balsamo advances up to third. And this 2-out pressure starting to mount here for the Blaine defense now, as Christensen will now have to see the cleanup hitter in the form of Connor Larson. So where Christensen should be out of the inning by this point, he now has to face Larson and fires one in there for strike one. Second Bengal error of the game. Both have been charged to Pettis. And that one, good block by Peterson. Keeping that out in front. And keeping that runner over there at third. One ball, one strike, the count. Righty pitcher Christensen against the lefty Larson. Here's the offering. Swing and a miss. Had a little fade to it. Looked like he pulled the string on him with the change. And it is 1-2 with the count swinging into Christensen's favor here. Top of the third in a scoreless game here from the Blaine Baseball Complex. The 1-2. And that comes inside and got a piece of Larson, hitting him with a 2-strike pitch to load up the bases here for Blaine in the third. So Ian Rell coming up and nowhere to put him. Courtesy runner is into the game. That's Ben Balsamo, the freshman, who just got the call up from JV today. He's running for Larson over there as the courtesy runner. Jay's younger brother misses up and inside. On the first pitch to Rell, 1-0. Three straight hitters reaching for the Panthers here, all with 2 outs. 1-0. Popped him up. Right side of the infield, calling for it is Stoffaker in foul territory, makes the catch, and Blaine are out of the inning unscathed. No runs on the first Panther hit of the game. An error, but it doesn't come back to cost the Bengals as they leave the bases loaded, stranded, and it's still tied up 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the third here from Blaine.
Lino Lakes is the gateway to the metro area, just minutes north of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Conveniently located on I-35W, this growing city still maintains its North Country feel. Lino Lakes is a safe, fun, and affordable community that values its award-winning schools. Outdoor lovers will discover miles of hiking, biking, and water trails. Growing businesses will find premier development opportunities with great freeway visibility and ready to help your businesses grow. Come to live, work, and play in Lino Lakes.
Two and a half in the books. We head to the bottom half of the third. We got a cat clash here out of the Northwest Suburban Conference. And I think the dogs hurt too, because they are out in force on a fine spring evening in Minnesota. 73 degrees and sunny skies at the time of the first pitch. And even dogs can be fans of the Panthers and the Bengals. Glad you could be here with us. Monday evening high school baseball on NMTV. Top of the order due up for the Bengals, Anderson, Pooter, and Koenig. All will stand in for the second time against the right-hander Caleb Tays, who gets to work for SLP. Swinging chopper to second. Meyer finds Say's glove for out number 1. Anderson now 0 for 2 to begin the day from the top of the order for Blaine. Only 3 combined hits from these two teams, who are now each their first time through the order. And here's Adam Puder, who we've seen it on North Metro TV, can change a game with one swing of the bat, as Tays will deal a breaking ball low. Does have 1 homer on the season, also a double, batting over 500. Here's he smashes it on the ground to third, knocked down by Rell, picks up and hurries the throw. It'll sail past Say. Puder takes the turn and goes into second. And it's a runner in scoring position with 1 out here for the Bengals in the bottom half of the third. It's been a rough afternoon, really, for third baseman on both sides, as that will be ruled as the second Bengal error of the day. Had 1 against Talso, now 1 on Rell. 2-base error and no hit, so that'll be a E5, getting Puder all the way to second base. And Jackson Koenig is up here at the dish for the Bengals. One 0, dealt low and away, trying to get him fishing after the off speed. Koenig looking to find some grass in the outfield, give Puder a good base runner chance to score the first run of the game. 2-0. Sails the off-speed pitch high. 3-0 here. Tays getting into some trouble here. The second error committed behind him. We've seen 2 errors each from these two teams today. 3-0 to Koenig. Like he was taken all the way there. Watches a strike here to go to 3-1. Garrett Stoffaker with good power, waiting in the on-deck circle for the Bengals. The leading run producer will come up next. He's got 9 RBI in the season. 3-1. Tipped it off the handle of the bat, and the count has run back full after Koenig was ahead 3-0. Tays set to line up the 3-2, and that one sprayed away for another foul ball. Tays trying to work his way out of a jam. We mentioned started out last season as the top starter in the JV team, got the call up and pitched for varsity midway through the year. 3-2, another one fouled off. He came up right about the same time, coincidentally, that Cody Miller was called up, so to speak. The head coach of the Panthers was an assistant involved with the varsity team, but mostly was a JV coach last year. It's his first year this year as the head coach of the varsity program, and him and Tays both came up. Here's the 3-2. This is high off the glove of Larson. Runner will try to take third, and Puder, with some astute base running, is able to get in on that pass ball and take the extra base following the walk. So they're at the corners now. This was a great read by Puder, who took off as soon as he saw that ball pop out of the glove of Larson. And now there is a potential first run of the game, 90 feet away with less than 2 outs here for the Bengals, as Garrett Stoffaker stands in and takes one for strike 1. Tays, who put in a lot of hard work in the offseason, as the 0-1 is skied foul here over the dugout. Wasn't necessarily a guy who was on a lot of college coaches' radars, but with a lot of work in the fall season, got him noticed by some D3 programs, and heading into the year, Tays committing to stay in town and pitch for the Augies next season. Here's the 0-2. Chopper to first, under the glove of Say, and it gets through the right side. That's going to bring in Puder to score. Going first to third is Koenig, and then having some trouble with in the outfield was Welch. So Stoffaker will go to second as well, too. And the Bengals, they'll take the runs any way they can get them, are on the board 1-0. So an error charged to Welch there in right field. They've got 4 up on the board in the errors column here for SLP now. And now a few warm-up tosses being thrown before Carter Amos will step up for Blaine. So believe they're going to go 2 errors on that play. They'll give it to Say, who that ball was squared up decently, but kind of snuck under the glove of the SLP first baseman. They were called strike and a breaking ball in an Amos. But just the one hit up on the board here for SLP so far. And they've got 2 for Blaine. So that was 2 errors ruled on that last play. Here's this one sprayed foul. So an E3, an E9, and an E5 all in this inning defensively for Spring Lake Park. And they're at 2nd and 3rd with a chance to really break this open for the Bengals. So that misses low. 1-2 now on Amos. Sophomore that's really jumped out and emerged into a big role for the Bengals this year. He calls time, wants to step out. Talking with head coach Ted Erickson, it is a guy who's got one of the best average exit velos on the team. Big time bat speed. Here's the 1-2 as he pops this one up foul. Say having a courtesy look as it drifts out of his reach and out of here. 2 balls, rather 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll remain the count on Amos. Amos, who is a year-round baseball guy, developing into a really high-level player, the chance to play at the next level the way he said it. 1-2 is high with the fastball, evening up the count here on the sophomore. He is the only underclassman in either starting lineup in this game today, Spring Lake Park or Blaine. 2-2 the count. Senior Tays on the mound, casts home, and that one is driven out to center. Going to get down, a dive by Tucker, and it gets past him. Welch doing a nice job to back up the play. A run's in to score. Play at the plate is in time to cut down the second. So Amos brings in a run with a base hit that he just flips into center field. Koenig scores. Stoffaker hustling, tried to get in behind is the second, and a throw from Gavin Welch with a great heads-up play. Backing up the dive by a center fielder, Tucker, was the one who threw it home and got the 9-2 put out at the plate. So it's 2-0 Bengals, but a heck of a relay finish by Say, 9-3-2 to get that second out. Here's a strike is taken by Benny McDonald, now standing in here for the Bengals. Tays ready. The 0-1 shows bunt. We'll pop this one back instead for strike 2. So good bounce back for the SLP defense, who committed 3 errors in this inning, but really nice relay and great heads up play by Welch, backing it up and leading to the first assist on that 9-3-2 relay. And Welch was one of the ones who was charged with an error this inning. 1-2 now, and McDonald, who reached an error his last time up. He'll drive this the other way, slicing away and down ahead of Balsamo. So first and second now here for Blaine. Back-to-back hits for the Bengals after the first 3 that reached in this inning. All came without the aid of a knock from the Blaine lineup. This is Ethan Pettis up now for the Bengals. Has one of the 4 Blaine hits in the contest so far, a single. As he'll take the breaking pitch off the plate, ball 1. That is now 7 of 23 with the bat to start the season. Here's the 1-0. Came inside on him, sent out to center, late jump, but Tucker still there in plenty of time to make the play. And the inning is over. Panthers stop the bleeding defensively as 2 Bengal runs come in to score. Just 2 hits, 3 Spring Lake Park errors committed, and a couple left on here on North Metro TV. It's the Bengals in front for the first time as they lead it 2-0. Checking in the highlights here so far in this game, and teeing off to try to start this night. It is pitching and defense. A little stolen base in there from Brayton Talso, and the Bengal bats finally able to wake up in that 3rd inning where 2 were put on by errors, 1 by a walk. Some great base running to set up some runners in scoring position, and eventually it was Carter Amos who drove in the first run of the inning. And the Panthers able to limit the damage. They committed 3 errors in this inning, allowing a 2nd run to score, but nice relay to cut down a potential 3rd in the inning for the Bengals defensively. So Hans Christensen, see how he deals with the long layoff after a lengthy bottom half of the 3rd in which the Bengals sent up 7 hitters, plated their 2 runs, and he is back on here to face 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order. Tucker, Say, and Meyer due up for SLP. Tucker grounded out to short his first time up. And the first pitch punched into the down and inside corner by Christensen. Ahead 0-1 here. Christensen, a uncommitted senior who's looking to play some college ball somewhere, as he will find a breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. He has now not given up a run in 10 innings as a starter this year. First couple outings came out of the bullpen. 0-2 misses high. We saw Christensen in that wild game against Centennial a couple of weeks back when the Cougars went up big. 1-2, poked off the end of the bat, right side, a reach, a spin. Koenig's throw in time to make a terrific play over at second. Gets a pretty good runner in Tucker going down the line. Koenig on full stretch, stayed on his feet, spun, and kept his balance to make that throw to Garrett Stoffaker over at first. Terrific play. Bang, bang, and it looked like he just got him. And now Mikey Say comes up here for the Panthers. Struck out his first go-around. He'll pull back a bunt to watch strike 1 in there. Christensen entered the night leading the Blaine staff among qualifiers in ERA and in WHIP, where his earned run average was at 117 on the season, and going south here with the 3 scoreless fired tonight. 1-1 and misses inside. Walk-in hits per innings pitched at 1.5 for Christensen, who has now worked 15 innings on the season. Is 2-1, bounced out to third. Pettis charging in on it, and good to see him make the strong throw to first, getting his confidence back out there after he was a little shaky with a couple of errors to start the night. 2 up, 2 down to start the 4th. This will bring up Mason Meyer. Meyer, a strikeout victim of Christensen, who's got 3 of those today. Spins the breaking ball low and outside. Fastball, slider, changeup pitcher here. The senior Hans Christensen is 1-0. Tied him up inside. Went back with the hard stuff after starting him out with the slider. 1-1 on Meyer. Here's the delivery. Fastball. Ran it right in there for strike 2. Christensen got a little bit of a cameo at varsity last year. He mentioned all the work he put in the fall that got him noticed, and still looking for an opportunity to play college ball next year. Here's his 1-2. Driven out. Left field. Coming in is Anderson. Makes the running catch. And that will end the inning. 1, 2, 3. Go the Panthers here in the top of the fourth. It's 2-0 Blaine as we're through 3 1/2 here in North Metro TV.
Chat and drink coffee, then maybe we could see if we could be. Oh, you and me. Let's get together and make believe we'll share our hearts and share our dreams. Now, what do you think about you and me? Maybe we can always be forever you, forever with me. Oh, I bet you're thinking I'm a little too romantic. Oh, but baby, now don't get frantic, 'cause when I love, my loving's gigantic. Oh, and I think that's alright. Let me dream, oh, a girl can dream, and maybe it's not as crazy as it seems. Me loving you, you loving me right back. And now cut me some slack. Oh.
Dylan Chiquan leading things off for the Bengals here to start the home side of the fourth. Just pushed a bunt foul here to even up the count at 1-1 facing the right-hander Caleb Tays, who is on for his fourth inning of work for SLP. Tays kicks into his windup, deals high, and the count goes to 2-1 here. Chiquan fly out to right field his first time up. 2-1 fired home, just dotted it off the plate there. 3 balls and a strike now on the senior center fielder for Blaine. And Chiquan takes a close pitch for a strike on the inside edge. Division II commit to Salem University, where will be playing for the Tigers in West Virginia next year. 3-2, bounced up the middle, off the mound, cut off at short. Talso with a nice read and a pretty good play for out number 1. Not easy to read it on the carom off the mound, and Talso able to cut that ball off right up the middle behind the second base bag and made a strong throw to retired Chiquan. That's the 3-sport athlete Talso, QB in the football team, guard in the hoops team, and starting shortstop for SLP, where he was a all-conference selection for the Panthers at the position last year. Ty Peterson up 0 for 1, bounced into a fielder's choice. Take the second offering inside to even the count here. He's now 2 of 14 at the dish to start the year. 1-1 front door breaking ball worked in there on a called strike on Peterson. Bengals lead the Panthers 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth. And the same pitch catches Peterson looking as Tays, not a big swing and miss guy, goes back to back, doubling up on the same pitch to watch Peterson looking. And that is his first strikeout of the afternoon. So he just locked up Peterson. Tays with that big loopy curveball. We'll go back to the fastball here to start out Anderson at the top of the order as Tays tries to navigate his third time through now for the Bengals. Here's the 0-1. Gets him fishing after one in the dirt. Tays had just 3 strikeouts through his first 17 innings entering the night. That's over 3 starts. He's been on the losing end of the decision first 3 go-arounds this year for the Panthers. Down and away, missing with the change, 1 and 2. Certainly has pitched well enough to keep the Panthers in games for the most part this year. 1-2, driven the other way, and that'll sail foul. Panthers lost 7 straight to open the season. It was their longest losing skid to open a year since 2016. Here's the 1-2. Down and away again with the changeup. They have bounced back with back-to-back wins since. Beat Totino Grace on Thursday 10-9. Won at Coon Rapids and come from behind fashion on Friday 6-4. 2-2 is a chopper back to the mound. Tays can't pick it. It'll get all the way to second, where it is way too late for Meyer to have a chance at it. And Anderson, on a swinging bunt, is able to reach here with 2 outs, and will give one of Blaine's better hitters in the lineup, Adam Pooter, a chance to drive one in from first here. And that was Tays' play to make, or nobody else had a shot. With good speed going down the line in the form of the leadoff man, Anderson. Infield hit brings up Pooter, who takes high. Runner goes. Throw is into center field. And Anderson going to be in there easily with the stolen base. Runner into scoring position now for Pooter in a 1-0 count. Got a really good jump. Larson was trying to rush it a little bit and launched it into center field here. Pooter is 1 for 2 so far today. Clean single to left, reached in a 2-base error last time. 1-0. Waves high at the off-speed pitch. 1 ball and a strike on Pooter. He has hit safely in all 6 games that he's played in this year. Missed 3 with an injury. Bengals went 1-2 without Pooter in the lineup. Here's the 1-1. And that finds the inside edge for a strike. Pooter only recently returning to play shortstop. Beginning of last week, he was limited to strictly DH role coming back from his injury. 1-2, he fouls it off here, and the count will stay there. Committed this past fall, his senior year, to play for the Tommies. Here's the 1-2. Bounced in front of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the delivery. Hit hard on the ground, but right to the shortstop. Talso loads, throws. Say can't pick it, and Pooter is in there safely. Should be an error on the first baseman, Say. And if that's the case, it is going to continue what has been a rough game defensively for Spring Lake Park. Throw a little low, but in and out of the glove. Going to be an E3 in my book, and with 2 outs, the inning is extended. Jackson Koenig's up, runner takes off, and they are going to have Adam Pooter, or beg your pardon, is caught in a rundown. And then he gets into second base safely. Panthers had him dead to rights, and Tays just hung on to the baseball. So second and third, and a called strikes run in there on Koenig. Anderson, the runner at third. Pooter now in behind him at scoring position. 2 outs in the inning. 0-1, tipped foul here by the junior second baseman. Bengals broke the scoreless deadlock with 2 across in the third. An inning in which the Panthers committed 3 errors. That's low and away. Have just committed their 5th defensively here in this 4th inning. Tays facing Koenig, the 1-2. And out in front, a swing and a miss for a big strikeout to end the inning. So no runs come across to score further for Blaine. They've had just one hit, another Panther error, but two left stranded in scoring position. Could have been worse for Caleb Tays and the Panthers. We are on to the fifth in a 2-0 ball game here from the BBC on North Metro TV.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Gavin Welch will lead things off with the Panthers. Looking for a comeback here. This guy was looking for some shade, but he found it here. Great spot at the Blaine Baseball Complex as we're bringing to you Northwest Suburban Conference baseball here at the high school ranks. Varsity ball between the Bengals and the Panthers, two of our North Metro TV schools. No shade needed today. Maybe some sunglasses. Perfect conditions here in the low 70s. Bengals working a 2-0 lead here as Gavin Welch will take a fastball from Hans Christensen up and inside for ball one. Both these starters thinking complete game efforts here tonight as the 1-0 is dribbled back in front of the plate. Christensen fields and tosses in time to Stoffaker to retire Welch on 2 pitches to start the fifth. And it's going to reset the batting order for SLP and bring up Darren Tran.
DH number 10, Darren Tran.
That happens. Stop the runner. Stop the runner.
Christensen has been very efficient here tonight. He threw 11 pitches in the first, 13 in the second, 14 to get through the third. As you saw there, Cody Miller was going out. There was some dispute on whether that ball was off the foot of Gavin Welch and that ball that was tapped into play in front of the plate. And so now here Darren Tran stands in and takes one high for ball one. It has taken him fewer than 15 pitches to get through each inning so far today. That's up and off, 2 balls and no strikes. He was at the 50 pitch mark coming into this inning as he'll spin that breaking ball low and inside. Trans worked it to a 3-0 count. Junior, who has settled in as the leadoff hitter for a 3rd consecutive game, and there's one of the reasons why. Not expanding the strike zone, taking the walk. That's his 4th of the season, and Tran is on base here with 1 away now for Jay Balsamo, one of the hottest swinging bats in the lineup for SLP. Second walk issued by Christensen today. Go along with the 3 strikeouts. Just 1 Panther hit yielded. Balsamo swings away. Liner right back to the mound, and he'll be doubled off. Tran will at first base. Nothing you can do about that. Balsamo squares it up right back to the pitcher's mound, but hits into a double play. That ends the inning. We are through now, 4 1/2 from the Blaine Baseball Complex. The Bengals on top of the Panthers, 2-0 here on North Metro TV.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Back on here for the bottom of the fifth, and the Bengal Tiger is having a good day here at the Blaine Baseball Complex. 1 hit allowed by Bengal pitching. It was an infield single. Bengals have staked a 2-0 lead. And Blaine can find themselves in the win column. They might need to get somebody in the Tiger suit every game the rest of the season here at the BBC. Sorry, the Bengals suit. Here is the starting pitcher for SLP is back on for his 5th inning of work. Caleb Tays missing inside to Garrick's Stoffaker. Big senior first baseman who leads off the inning for Blaine. 1-0's cracked out to left center field. That is solidly hit into the gap where it's cut off by Tucker. Stoffaker already rounding second, thinking about 3. It was briefly juggled out there between Tucker and Balsamo. They do get it in, and Stoffaker will stop up at second with a leadoff double. That'd been the hardest hit ball that we have seen here today. Stoffaker driving it with some big time exit velo the other way. You love to see that from the lefty. Smacking it hard nearly to the wall for what is his 5th extra base hit of the season, 4th double. And he'll hand the baton off to Carter Amos, who drills this one to center. Got a little under it. Tucker will race in front of his diving right fielder Welch and make the play. Stoffaker is held at second, and the first out of the inning recorded. So here comes Benny McDonald. This 3rd time through the order, the Bengals starting to get a little bit more comfortable against Tays, who has done pretty well on the mound here today. Not been helped out by 5 Spring Lake Park errors defensively behind him, as he will deal low here for ball 1. Now he loads with that chest high set, the 1-0. On the ground to second. Handled by Meyer as it gets through him into right field, and the Bengals are going to find a 3rd run of the contest right through the wickets of the second baseman Meyer. And SLP having a tough day defensively. It continues with their 6th error of the contest, as McDonald puts the ball in play, eventually bringing Stoffaker home. And now the head coach of the Panthers, Cody Miller, is out for a visit here with Tays, and might possibly end the afternoon here for his starter. Miller is also the kind of acting pitching coach, so to speak, here for Spring Lake Park. His assistant's Chad Hockenmeyer, who primarily works with the catchers and outfielders. Dan Reichert is his infield coach. So when you see Miller come out to the mound, it's not necessarily with the hook, and he's out here just for a chat with his starter, who, again, we've said it, Caleb Tays. Not much you can do when the defense behind you is kicking the ball around to the tune of 6 errors. And he's just got to go back out there, continue to throw strikes, keep that confidence up. And what is now a 3-0 ball game with the Bengals in front. Believe just 1 of the runs are in the book right now earned against Tays. Here is Ethan Pettis. We'll watch one bounce in front of the plate ahead of it. Base hit for Pettis came back in the 2nd. Flew out to the center fielder in the 3rd. 1-0. Another low pitch, spit on by Pettis, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Pettis, great 2-sport athlete. His dad, Lance, the head coach of the varsity basketball team here at Blaine. 2-0 inside and jammed him. It was news to me because of how good of a basketball player that Pettis is, that I thought he would maybe be a guy with mainly aspirations to play hoops at the next level. He is a big-time baseball player as well, too, as he's popped up here. Shallow center, backing up to make the catch is Braden Talso, the shortstop. That's the second out of the inning. And Pettis, who last year was named one of the captains for Blaine, well, this year rather, as a junior, and he is the second ever Blaine baseball captain who is not a senior to be voted by his teammates as a captain of the team. The other one, his teammate Adam Pooter, who last year was also named a captain for the first time ever in the program's history, as that one's taken outside by Dylan Chaquan. Senior playing center field today. 1-0 as he lays a bunt down. It's going to roll foul. And it's 1-1 on Chaquan, who's 0 for 2 so far today. He'll head back to the batter's box here with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Third run of the game scoring for the Bengals today on an error, as that one was smartly kicked aside by Caleb Tays. Watching it roll down the chalk line. He'll turn and get the pick off to first. They're going to go ahead to second. The tag applied is ruled not in time. It looked like the tag was laid down by Mason Meyer, the second baseman. They're going to say that Benny McDonald got in there safely standing. Had him dead to rights. Did he just miss on the tag? That might be a good call. Oh, came up with nothing but air. You can see on the follow through, Meyer keeps moving with the glove. So we let out a few gasps here in the crowd. I think it was a great call by this crew. Meyer has him in his sights, trying to go to the outside of the bag was McDonald, and in standing. Kind of two-stepping around that tag. It's going to be a moot point as the next pitch is just flared out into center field and caught, and that will bring an end to the inning. So 3-0 Bengals as we now are through 5, with the Bengals in front with 2 left to play and 6 more outs to get here at NMTV.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Pa?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Back on for the start of the 6th. 3-0 is now the Blaine lead. To welcome you back here to the Blaine Baseball Complex, unofficial dog park spot here in Blaine, Minnesota. And the Bengals rolling here as their starter tonight, Christensen, has given up 1 hit, walked a couple of batters, struck out 3. Hans Christensen still cruising as he will return onto the mound here to face Talso, Larson, and Rell, due up and scheduled to hit. 5 is the magic number for the Bengals. Blaine have not yielded a lead when they've led after 5 innings this year. When they score 4 or more runs, they're in pretty good shape as well, too. So the Bengals may be looking to tack on a couple more here with a 3-0 lead. Braden Talso leading off, the shortstop for the Panthers. He will take a spinner low and outside from Christensen here for ball number 1. Comes back with a 1-0. Jammed him. 2-hopper out to short. Pooter will throw out his opposite shortstop, Talso. 2 pitches, and Christensen again very efficient, as it took him just 50 pitches to get through the first 4. Even with a 4-pitch walk in the 5th, he still got through the inning with just 7 pitches. So we've got him for 59 thrown only. And he's got 1 out here in the 6th inning. Swinging a pop-up. This will help if the Bengals can make the play. Koenig underneath will do just that. And that is 3 pitches to get the first 2 here of the 6th. And only 60 here in the afternoon thrown by our count for Hans Christensen. 2 up, 2 down. Ian Rell stepping in here, trying to buck the trend for SLP. Christensen paints a fastball in there, strike 1. Tays and Christensen, the 2 starters, we said both have thrown the ball well. They're throwing a lot of strikes here today. That is the calling card for each of these 2 starters. Called strike at the bottom of the zone. Christensen, not a power pitcher, but a guy who's located extremely well. Really has developed that changeup especially and become really effective at throwing all 3 of his pitches in any count. 0-2, misses up and inside. Guy who maybe wasn't thought of as a big strikeout guy by Ted Erickson and his staff coming into the year, but he's turned into a really good pitcher. 1-2 is fouled away here by Rell, and it remains 1-2. And he is very much in good shape to finish this ball game. We see activity over in the Panther pen on the other side. They're getting Gavin Welch, the right fielder, loose in the pen. So might see some changes coming for SLP next inning. 1-2 bounced in front of home plate. Christensen, if he gets through this inning, it will be 13 shutout innings in a row since they've moved him into a starting role. The 2-2 is a liner off the glove of Pooter, who almost cut that off in a 1-hop, and his throw nearly beat Rell down the line as well too. That's bang bang over there at first. Rell beat it by about a step. He's going to be aboard with an infield single. Off the bat, looks like a hit back up the box, but Pooter with good range making this close. Throwing behind the bag in the spin-o-rama, and man, still almost got him. 2-out hit is just the second of the day for Spring Lake Park, and neither hits left the infield. Here's it's a swing and a miss by Tucker. Only other knock was a bunt for a hit laid down by Balsamo in the 3rd. Here's the 0-1. Oh, blew one by him with the high fastball. And it's 0-2. Tucker trying to get aboard, give Mikey Say a chance to hit here in the 6th with runners on. 0-2. Tried to get him to fish after the slider. Good block by Peterson. Lost it between his legs, but kept it in front. One, 2. Sails high, easy take there for Tucker. Senior center fielder. Was 3 for 4. Had a big day at the plate last Thursday in the skid snapping win for SLP that got him in the win column for the first time. 2-2 is fouled back here. Two strikes, 2 out. 2-2 count in a 3-0 game in which the Bengals lead as this is cracked out to high left center field. Back at the wall. It is back and off the base of the wall before it's fielded by Chiquan. Sent around 3rd and in to score is Ian Rell. And the Panthers have broken the shutout and are back within 2 on a ringing RBI double from Ashton Tucker. Really squared this one up. Took it over the head of Chiquan, who got it in a hurry. But Rell scoring comfortably stand up. And Ashton Tucker knocks in his 4th of the season. And we got a game here as Mikey Say. Chance to make it a 1-run game with a big 2-strike hit. With the way that the Panthers have kicked it around defensively today, the fact that they are in this game by 2, Bengals probably feel like they should have capitalized and been leading by a lot more. But the Panthers, this has kind of been their calling card. They have trailed for a lot of the season. Got out to that 0-7 beginning as Ted Erickson, the Bengal head coach, is out here to chat with Christensen. And there is an arm starting to warm up in the pen just in case for Blaine. Drew Stufflick, who's got a save on the season. Their closer is warming up. The Panthers have been trailing for a lot of the season. We gave you some of the numbers. Their first 2 innings have been ugly for SLP a lot this year. But in that losing streak to begin the season, a lot of the games were decided by 2, 3 runs or fewer. Here's the 1-0, swung on and fouled off. They had a game end when they lost on a diving catch. Even their 2 wins came in pulse-pounding fashion, having to leave the bases loaded in the 7th inning to get away with a win. So they haven't, that's to say they haven't been blown out much this year. They have been hanging around in just about every game in, just not able to come through with a big hit when they need it. 1-1 is up and inside, 2 balls and a strike. Big confidence building win for the Panthers on Friday when they went down by a couple of runs and rallied back late in the 6th to win their 2nd in a row, 6-4 against Coon Rapids. Here's the 2-1. And perfectly placed with the slider low and outside corner. Christensen is dotting it up all 4 quadrants today. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Mikey Say. One of the 3 strikeout victims of Christensen, and 0 for 2 today. Here's the pitch. Just got a piece to stay alive here. Ashton Tucker is aboard at second. Came through with the RBI double off the wall in dead center. Bringing home Ian Rell to get the Panthers on the board and back within 2. Here's the 2-2. Slider low and away, taken by Say, and he's worked the count full. Lake Braden Talso, the shortstop, playing on the opposite side of the infield of him. Mikey Say, a 3-sport athlete, football, basketball, and baseball. Chops this one to third. Pettis handles, fires across in time, and Pettis, nicely done, had the rough start defensively, settled in and made a strong throw that time. But the Panthers, with the help of a couple of 2-out knocks, are on the board, and we've got a 2-run game as we head to the bottom of the 6th here at the Blaine Baseball Complex.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We're back here for the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 the Bengals with the lead. And we got a few future Blaine Bengals and Spring Lake Park Panthers in the house. A few fans taking the game in. 2 legs, 4 legs, and otherwise. And what has turned into a tight one here late. As the Panthers are able to push across the first run of the game. Really their first squarely hit ball off of Hans Christensen, who has been terrific this afternoon and into the evening. Caleb Tays back on here, the starter for SLP, who deals a first pitch strike 1 here to the 9-spot hitter Ty Peterson. Tays has been sharp as well. 0-1, bouncer out to short. Talso will toss to Say, who's lifted off the bag, had to spin and slap down that tag, but still able to get the out on Peterson and reset the top of the order here. 1 gone. Say is not your prototypical first baseman in terms of the height and providing the big target, but as we said, 3-sport athlete, and he can read his buddy Braden Talso across the diamond, able to make the athletic move. Here's Cooper Anderson. Bunt laid down foul. Will put him behind a strike. Tays filling up the zone today. It has not come as easily as Christensen, largely because the defense behind him. 6 errors committed out there by the Panthers today. He's punched out 2. His 0-1 finds the top of the strike zone. So the pitch count not nearly as efficient as Christensen, but he's issued just 1 walk. 0-2 on the ground, deflects off the mound and bounces its way through into center field. That one you can't put on the defense, although they'll get it into second. Racing to try to go for 2 was Anderson. He'll be cut down there. So a single for Anderson, which will be the 6th hit of the game, make it the 7th for Blaine. But he's thrown out trying to stretch it out into a double. Here as he got into trouble on the throw in from center by Tucker. First pitch swinging here by Pooter. Rolls it out to short. Talso able to fire across and retire him to end the inning. So quick one for Caleb Tays. Just about 1-2-3 go the Bengals with one hit in the inning, and it is 3-1 with the Bengals in front as we head to the 7th here from Blaine, Minnesota.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Back on here for the start of the 7th. It is last call for the Panthers as they'll send up Meyer, Welch, and Darren Tran. We saw some activity out there in the Bengal bullpen, but why take this guy out right now? And Hans Christensen will be given the opportunity to finish the complete game for a second consecutive start. Panthers able to spoil the shutout with a 2-out, 2-strike double off the bat of Ashton Tucker in the 6th inning. But he's on here to face 8-9-1 in the batting order with Meyer, Welch, and Tran scheduled to hit here for the Panthers. We're looking to come from behind for their 3rd consecutive win. Christensen deals a strike on the inside corner to Meyer, who's 0 for 2. Panthers really had not squared up a ball against this guy until the last inning. And this one squared up out to left field. Gonna dump down for a leadoff hit for Mason Meyer. The Bengals do have Stufflick loose. He's not up anymore, but was up over in the Bengal pen. So this really starts to get hairy. And this might be the hook already coming as Ted Erickson is going to trot out here and chat with his starter. Had thrown 79 pitches to get through 6 innings and 1 run, but with the runner on and the tying run coming to the plate, Blaine are going to go to the bullpen, and they'll bring on Drew Stufflick to finish out this game here, the closer for the Bengals. So can't quite close the book on Christensen yet, but he went 6+. 1 run allowed so far. It was earned on 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, and he did it on all of 81 pitches thrown. Great outing, but you can't fault the decision-making here from the 4th-year head coach Ted Erickson in Blaine when you got this guy coming out of the pen. Stufflick's been reliable, a senior right-hander who comes in having not allowed an earned run on the season. He's got 1 run allowed unearned, 6 strikeouts, 5 walks in 5 2/3 as Drew Stufflick steps onto the bump for what'll be his 6th outing all in relief this year for the Bengals. Stufflick most recently pitched on Thursday when he went to Anoka, a scoreless inning with a strikeout, worked around a couple of walks, throwing 31 pitches. You see the overall season numbers there from Drew Stufflick, the senior right-hander who is on the hill to try to get the final 3 outs here and inheriting a runner aboard at first for Spring Lake Park. And Edwin Diaz is coming on now for the Mets. Well, Drew Stufflick maybe trying to channel that anyways. We got Tommy Trumpets ringing here through the BBC. And I think, I mean, this is the new You're a Closer coming out to Metallica music. As great as the Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman stuff was, Edwin Diaz coming out and the way they produced it on the Mets broadcast, this is the new closer music that every pitcher aspires to be. So Drew Stufflick trying to channel some Edwin Diaz here to close out a 2-run game for the Bengals. This is Gavin Welch's spot in the batting order, but it looks like we've got a pinch hitter in here, Grant Ricker, number 8, to take his place. And it is a pinch hitter in a big spot. Ricker will take a strike, zipped in there at the bottom of the zone from Stufflick. Ricker is senior, 0 for 4 on the season. turn and a throw to first base, where they will hold the runner Meyer over there, who chased Christensen from this game with a single and an 0-1 count. Here comes the 0-1. Bouncer, chance to turn 2 out at second. Koenig to Pooter. It is in time for the double play. Big turn there by the Bengal defense. Defense has not been a strong suit for either team in this game today, but the Bengals have gotten more sure-handed as the day has gone along. They will say, oh, it was a safe call over at first base. So fielder's choice here, and we're going to see a pinch runner come into the game for Ricker. And that is Gavin Welch, who was just pinch hit for, who's now going to be running. Back to the top of the order in Darren Tran. So runner at first and 1 out, as that is fired high by Stufflick here for ball 1. Tran 0 for 2 today. Did draw a walk on 4 pitches his last time up. 1-0's inside, scooting out of the box to avoid that one below his knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Junior in his first varsity season on a hot streak to open the year. He's been elevated to being the everyday leadoff hitter now the last 3 games for Coach Miller. 2-0 strike at the top of the zone, 2-1. Panthers started the year 0-7, have won back-to-back games, including a come-from-behind win on Friday at Coon Rapids. 2-1 sprayed foul here. The Panthers in that game on Friday staked an early 1-0 lead. We're up 2-0 after 5.5 until the Cardinals got to the starter, Ashton Tucker, and suddenly SLP had to get 3 of their own in the 6th to secure that second win in a row, as the 2-2 is up and outside, running the count full here to Darren Tran. Able to chase Christensen, who was really sharp today for Blaine. Get to Stufflick, the closer. 3-2 late swing and a miss as the heater was run by him. Tran strikes out swinging. 2 gone in the inning. And now Jay Balsamo standing in as the last hope for SLP and representing the winning run in this game. Stufflick kicks and deals home. Oh, big fastball. You've seen a couple of late swings from the SLP hitters when Stufflick's been coming in with the A fastball. Just 4 hits today off of Christensen, the starter. 0-1. Popped up, sprayed away foul, and the Panthers are down to their last strike. Blaine, if they can hang on, would be 8-0 against Spring Lake Park in these 2 teams' history as Northwest Suburban Conference opponents. Stufflick sets from the belly, the 0-2, and another late swing. He's able to make contact and fight it off. Balsamo, this is the guy you want at the plate if you're SLP. Not a ton of power, but he has an excellent 2-strike approach. Guy that's tough to strike out. Cody Miller was going so far as to say he might be an even better hitter when he gets behind 0-2. As a team, they've been trying to get more aggressive early in counts, but they like Balsamo seeing a lot of pitches. The 0-2. And he squares this one up off the handle and loops it foul here. He has fought off back-to-back 0-2 pitches to keep Stufflick working out there for Blaine. Panthers down to their final strike in a 3-1 game. Runner aboard at first is Gavin Welch. Balsamo representing the tying run here at the plate. 0-2. Down in front of the plate. 1-2. Balsamo trying to find a way on base. Braden Talso would come up representing the winning run for the Panthers. The 1-2. Reached out and poked it in play to second. Koenig will flip to Pooter covering at short, and that's the ball game. So the Panthers make it interesting and rally back in the late goings, but Blaine pitching too much. And Hans Christensen, who comes up short of the complete game, goes 6+, and the Bengals win their 8th in a row against Spring Lake Park. We'll be back for a post-game interview to wrap things up in what was a 3-1 Blaine Bengal win over the Panthers on North Metro TV.
Learn to cough and sneeze with your pal Grover. Step 1. Realize you're about to sneeze. Step 2. Move your elbow toward your nose and mouth. Step 3. Gesundheit. 1, 2, 3. Remember to cough and sneeze into your arm or elbow and not your hands.
All right, back here at the Blaine Baseball Complex, a 3-1 victory for the Bengals over the Spring Lake Park Panthers. I'm here with this afternoon's starting pitcher, Hans Christensen. Hans, we were just chatting. 2 starts, you're 2-0. When you're pitching well, it's fun, but when you're pitching well and your team's winning ball games, that's got to feel better. What was it like being out there tonight on the mound?
It felt great. I got a great defense behind me. I mean, my second baseman made a great play back there, including my shortstop and third baseman, just everybody doing their part.
6+ innings, you strike out 3, give up 1 run. You had a 7-inning complete game shutout in your first start when you moved to the rotation for Coach Erickson. Was there any argument from me, or were you trying to talk Coach Erickson into leaving you in at the end of the game at all?
I was told in the dugout that to not keep anybody on, and after it was an ugly swing, just dropped down, kind of disappointed, but I trust my guy in the bullpen there, and he came out and shut him down.
We like Coach Erickson giving you the shot. 1 runner on, then you bring in the closer. But, you went out there. So, great outing tonight, 3 strikeouts. What's been the difference for you? Because last year you got a little bit of varsity time. I was talking to Coach Erickson a little bit. A lot of hard work in the offseason. You weren't necessarily a guy coming in that was maybe going to be a huge innings eater, and you kind of emerged this year. So, tell us a little about the behind the scenes of what you've been doing leading into this season to get you ready and improve so much.
I've worked in the fall. I was a starter in the fall, had a lot of really good starts against a lot of really good teams. Just coming into this year in the winter was working on that slider. That was working really well today again, and it's just the same as last start, and just trying to do my role.
All right, last thing. Defensively, a little bit of an ugly game from both teams, but your team kind of finished strong defensively. What do your coaches tell you when there's errors happening behind you? What do you think to yourself? Because as the game went along, I think your team played more usual defense to what you're used to. Yeah.
I know he can make the play, and even I looked over there when I was over there, the ball was a little funny over there. I think we got some moles in there, but I trust my guy because I know he's an average 90% guy, so one play isn't going to hurt me.
Yep. Love it. Okay, last thing. This is the halfway point of the season. You played 10 of the 20 in the regular season. What are you looking forward to the rest of the year? What are the goals that you guys have maybe talked about moving forward?
We kind of got into a hole early, just dropping some really close games. So right now we're just trying to keep on winning each week. So last week we went 3-1. We're expected to do that today. So
Bengals have won 5 of the last 6. They're 6-4 on the season, coming off a win against the Spring Lake Park Panthers. Again, thanks to Hans Christensen. I'm Matt Dean. We're signing out here from Ted LaRue, our director, our entire great NMTV crew, where the Bengals take it 3-1 over the Spring Lake Park Panthers.